Hi, enjoy 80 through 71 of my top songs of all time. And remember, they're not blocked by some money wall.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
Continuing, these are the top 100 songs of all time, 80 through 71. Number 80. Do you remember Ready Player One? No? Yeah, that's for the best. What wasn't to love about the YA novel turned schlock movie with Steven Spielberg's name to move a couple copies?
Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, what did you think of Ready Player One?
That was pretty dumb.
Look, I didn't see this movie. I absolutely don't care about this movie. But the trailer did have one nostalgia bomb that made me 10% interested in it.
Sure.
Oh, boys. Actually, this album is kind of blah. It's the only thing I wanted from Record Store Day 2019. It has a show-stopping single, though. So 1985, the year of our Lord Morten Harket, came the only American hit from Norwegian powerhouse a-ha. Around this time were 80s titans like Madonna, Wham, and Tears for Fears, whose output brought a song that I like even more than Take On Me, whoopsies. And yet, this is the song that survived decades of play and references. As the 9th biggest song of 85, I think it earned that. Mid-80s pop songs usually sound it, but this song is timeless. It's like my overplay annoyances are manifested here too. There's plenty of similar era stuff I can't tolerate anymore. At one point, this was my goofy favorite song, as I was an odd 7th grader. That and Vice City is the best GTA for sure.
Again.
What? I got over that song about 5 years ago. Take On Me is probably more a part of my life than half the shit in the top 40 right now. And how could that be? We all love Blinding Lights. It owes a good 60% of its charm to this juggernaut of a hook written 35 years earlier. This thing was practically carried to this list on the strength of that hook. And yet, it's completely overshadowed by Morten's angelic pipes. I may also love this song more because when I just wanted to buy it on my iTunes, my dad couldn't remember whose song it was nor its actual title. It turns out it isn't called Take It Upon Me. I couldn't really blame the guy. If you asked me what was on my best list last year, I'd have trouble remembering what stuff or where that stuff was on the list. Bad memory is my inheritance. Similar to I Believe in a Thing Called Love, this is a perfect song to pop onto a rock band setlist and gravely overestimate your ability to reach those high notes. Even he sounds awestruck at his love for this girl. Makes for emotional power and a damn good video. And now helping old songs cases is the Siva Gunner factor. Take On Me is one of those automatic rip basses that I will never dislike. Even today, we're still paying homage to its greatness. a-ha's one stellar hit in this country is too boringly good to deserve analysis. Who doesn't like this song? 'Cause that's gotta be a real sad life. Just like if somebody didn't like Come With Me Now. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm never letting that go. Number 79. So my first foray into college, I found pretty much the dumbest ways to avoid doing work. Making random lists in class, pulling all-nighters to get that first season of Breaking Bad watched, and catch that bag on in a game that totally still exists. Most of my productive moments came from this YouTube playlist that I curated. And no, it wasn't a list of audio-only versions or lyric videos. It was all music videos. All terribly distracting. OK Go's best video, Shmoyoho's, and about 60 songs coming soon to this series you're currently watching. One of my favorites of that rotation was from some band that made the soundtrack for the Scott Pilgrim game. Meow. There was a weird phenomenon that happened with me and the college gang. Nobody had the same favorite Anamanaguchi song. Of those guys, Cal always loved My Skateboard Will Go On. I mean, yeah, no duh. Steven always liked him some Blackout City, and Rob loves We Die off open bracket USA close bracket. And the amazing thing is that those things never changed. Oh, whoops, guess we paired off into Skateboard and Meow, but that speaks more to the quality of the band. These guys with their electronic rock make songs that connect to the soul, mainly by kicking your door in. As the band they are, most of their songs involve synthesized drums, but Luke Silas pulled out a kit for Meow. He's throwing us into a pool of cymbals. It's a splashy dream. And it's a perfect build. The chugging body of the sound builds to a perfect release after an apocalyptic middle where these mythical arcade goers all eat it. And it peaks with a slamming outro, a cherry to this wonderful Sunday of rock infamy. Plus the tricks this song pulls, it separates it from their other body of work. Don't get me wrong, I'm also a fan of Skateboard, Endless Fantasy, John Hughes, but the extra tricks Meow pulls makes it their perfect hit, like the rhythmic meeps of their electronic cat. Those perfectly flowing keyboard runs, only topped by the likes of Jerry Temporary. And the best thing about the song, the voice that announces their arcade clicks. These seriously add to the song's build, as every section has subtle differences between each. For a song without lyrics, it does a phenomenal job of telling a cohesive and endlessly fun story. It's like that feeling of running around a Chuck E. Cheese for the first time, an experience I hope I can have someday. Meow as a song and even video feel like a part of me, whether it be enacting the Coley rule while golfing, to the 2 incidences where Four Loko ruined a college party for me. This song is nostalgia in its purest form, and I can only hope something else could fill that need the way this one always will. If you've never experienced their fantastic work, I'd use any of the songs I've mentioned here as a starting point, especially Meow. It's the cat's pajamas. I just realized, what the fuck does that even mean? Tom gives it 4 paws up. Number 78. Was Two Door Cinema Club ever gonna make a song better than 85? Nuh-uh. Misdirection? Check. Always remember, kids, objectivity does not have a stake on anyone's opinion. You can value objectivity more than others and proclaim Uptown Funk is the greatest song ever, and that's your prerogative. Good for you, man. It's not in my top 20 for the decade. Sorry. Personally, a song needs a strong draw. A punch, per se. Something that makes the 10th listen just as enjoyable as the 10,000th. Undercover Martin is just a well-oiled machine. I Can Talk has one atom bomb element that makes it Two Door's best song. That guitar riff isn't a sophisticated statement. It's not complicated, or groundbreaking, or even a perfect representation of a great guitar idea. It's blunt, loud, angry, and one of the best elements in this entire top 100. This was the song that sold me on listening to Taurus History, because while Martin and What I Know are both great singles, this raw, barn-burning Tudor was a band with range. Not just 3 nerdy-looking Brits, but a potentially game-changing indie rock act. And while I don't like to talk about their 3rd album and after, I still have this. Now I do love that, but it's also got an iconic opening. Certainly my favorite opening of Two Door's catalog, but it amplifies my love for great openings. Gets you pumped for the upcoming jam, and as modest as these cute goobers are. But I find this breed of song intros to be dying. The opening that keeps you off the skip button more than anything. Like, take some of this year's most beloved hits. Boring! Next! Grab Me, damn it. If you don't wanna see me. Even this masterpiece just hits you with the first line of the chorus, and even with the niche stuff I listen to outside of pop music. Weird. That's just the main line with radio distortion. The best intros preview the song without being just a misplaced asset, but its own abstract about the impending art. See? They're talking. And I can talk about how literally 2 elements of this song make it their greatest. And that's definitely a fact I won't discredit later. Number 77. Oh man, Malcolm in the Middle was my jam when I was a kid. I found some weird connection with a down-to-earth kid who just happens to be exceedingly smart. If you were to read my life story, that would sound real funny that I was that conceited as a kid. And damn was I a dumbass. The 2 main takeaways from the show now is, wow, OMG, it's Breaking Bad.
Say my name.
Hell!
And the show had a killer theme song.
You're not the boss of me now!
Perfect for the show. I loved it. And around this time, my mom's department would bring that band to the college she worked for. And of course, I came to see them perform the one song I cared about. Add that to the list of regrets. As a dumb child, not appreciating probably the greatest concert that I've ever seen live when one of my favorite bands was at their prime. Kids are the worst.
We could be sleeping in the flowers.
As much as I love my truest Canadian dweebs, they Might Be Giants are a close second. The 2 Johns started a little musical project in the early 80s and would continue to make music for 22 albums, including my favorite currently, John Henry. Whole lot of Johns. Maybe they should make a John Bon Jovi tribute. Feature John Frusciante. Do you guys see me? I should do your marketing. Residing within the walls of this album is Sleeping with the Flowers, a song about being kids.
I declare that I am England. You declare that I have drowned.
I would describe Flowers mostly as viscerally simple. A couple of vignettes for a man's want to live in a simpler time. The shy gaze of a service employee. The judgments of an inebriated idol. And that's it. 2 verses, 3 choruses, and a couple solos. It flies by, which is quite a good attribute for a 4.5-minute song. It's easy to brush over the philosophical bombs the stories drop here. My personal favorite is what he takes away from carpooling with a drunk.
How ungrateful I must have seemed.
That's exactly what I got into music criticism for. Long discussions about lyrical and thematic nuance. Can't dance to lyrics. Play that song. A guitar chugging along with a bashful man scared of his own subtle yet destructive actions. Forcefully simple drum work that crashes through each pause of tension, which slots perfectly with the internal monologue of the first guitar solo. He just wants to succeed, and this solo is him screaming for proper closure. I wonder if that girl at the bowling alley thinks I'm cute. These burst into a chorus with a dreamy optimism, triumphant horns, excited guitar, and a sublime drum lick made of dreams.
We could sleep all afternoon.
That syncopation that gets the body moving. I believe the fantasy he's living. And it has the best trick, the outro solo. That's a power move I respect. Like they're withholding their own greatness cause they can. Like a good intro. It's a specific element that elevates a song. And trust me, it's not the last one on this list. Sleeping in the Flowers is an experience. Like flying with Peter Pan and telling him he's drowned. What a trip. Just make sure those flowers aren't prickly before you nap there. Ouchies. Number 76. Oh, Guitar Hero 2.80s. You were definitely a game. Honestly, it's probably the best spin-off game, since many of them just played themselves. Pretty sure I beat Band Hero in 45 minutes. So I think their best work was the first, even if the game only really had 4 remarkable songs. Synchronicity 2 is a classic, probably my favorite Police song. Because it's midnight, cool joke, guys. That had me stuck for a little while. Of course, the final song, Play With Me, American classic, honorable mention of this whole series. But my favorite song from the game was this weird, herky-jerky goof fest from a band that I will never take seriously.
Yeah, it's kind of like one big orgasm.
I wrote the theme to Batman. So I enjoyed playing this so much, I decided to commemorate the love of it by buying a Boingo compact disc. Those were the days before Spotify. What idiot still buys physical media? It was Dead Man's Party. Didn't like it. Similar to the Talking Heads, Oingo is a little too out there for my desire for lush, catchy choruses and stellar musicianship. It's like The Baby. I know the audience is there, but they're just not my thing.
I'm a little bit different, they get it.
This guy still sounds like he's trying out his sarcastic stadium announcer voice for his rap career. Man, you kids like some weird stuff. I was trying to talk about 80s new wave. That was one hell of a tangent. What sets Only a Lad apart from everything else is its grounded simplicity, because it's just about a little shit that gets away with senseless crime because he's too young to know any better. Danny is just seething with frustration that this kid gets away with everything. Makes for the best moment in the song. That, or his yelps after he knows nothing can be done. It's the blunt sincerity that I like more than the rest of their shambly work. And hey, I don't have to love them, I sure love this goofy song. So, I may have to make a confession about something. It takes me years to outline this list, listen to these songs, find my opinions, and tell you that for sure in the fall of 2017, this was the number 76 best song of all time. I don't think it's in the top 100 anymore. Maybe in 2017, when I'd graduated college and oozed optimism, I could really love a non-sophisticated take on stupid kids. But now it's more of a joke than Cool for Cats. And that's a silly joke. Hell, one that Matt referenced last week. But Only a Lad is the kind of strange art worth exploring further, but somewhat detached. It's more of a monument to how opinions can shift over time. And I'll promise you this. It's not the last one on this list. Stupid 24-year-old me. You suck, 76th best song of all time. Well, I mean, that's not true. It's still very good and I would recommend it. Just like today's honorable mentions, video game music.
Aisha.
We'll start with original soundtrack cuts. I find it weird that as somebody with about a decade of mallet percussion experience, that the best xylophone song put in a video game I still love to death. And watch our episode of Treetops. 3 humans have never been so bad at a video game. At least the music was great. Underrated game. Underrated soundtrack. Easily the best song for any situation. Bully also had a stellar soundtrack, especially the Click Vendettas. Really gets me in a bag of marbles on the prefects type of mood. You want to feel like you're about to bound across the cosmos? Killer song. You want a fantastic non-original soundtrack? Saints Row 4. It's better than the rest. Take that, unreleased Avengers game. Isn't it incredible to remember that Siva Gunner got taken completely down about a year ago? Scary stuff. Anyways, here's the top 3 best Siva Gunner songs. Long Live the Goblin Dance. This is the classic, and a tragic reminder that brick and mortar retail is dying.
The deadline for AKH Greg to find someone to buy the company has come and gone.
Take On Me is a pretty good song, even with random anime end song theme. Yes, this is my favorite, Cal. Maybe Crazy Bus will overtake it someday. And finally, some songs that are thematically linked to video games, whether they be inspired or they just sound like it. I'm not picky. Before Mario Maker broke the spirits of millions, Automatic Mario was a source of happiness. For nearly the entirety of this 10-minute song, Mario replicates as much of the song on the limited sound capabilities of a Super Nintendo game. Mainly I'm into it because the piano work is lovely. This was 95 the first time I made this list, actually. This beauty speaks for itself. I think you know my thoughts on these 4 guys. This is my second favorite. For now. We might not look positively back at Telltale Games, but episodes 2 through 5 of Tales from the Borderlands had incredible chapter openings, culminating in episode 4 where they leave the planet. It's their best game. Sorry, Lee. Motivational music at its best. It'll lift you up.
Press X to Jason.
Jason! Number 75. I'd say it's about time for the decade-defining song of the 2010s. I'll explain. Meme culture began June 1st, 2010, when Harry Potter Puppet Pals creator and Lemon Demon frontman Neil Cicierega made a song about Adrian Brody's day in the life, inexplicably creating one of the most infectious melodies of all time. The next 70% of the song is just building on it with solos. This culminates in one of the greatest ramp-up endings of all time. It's pretty good. I had more to say about that, pretty sure. Number 74. Okay then. Oh! Let's talk about what this did for Neil. After 5 albums, the only big brush with internet fame Neil and his band had was Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, another classic. That taught him the right video can go far, but the right song brings people back. Brody Quest isn't just some silly song. It's a movement. From watching Adrian Brody enjoy the spoils of this world from the sea, to meet Dave, to conquering every facet of society, this song demands your respect. In a get off your ass and dance kind of way. And I can't understate how incredible the build to the World Takeover is. If you thought the synthetic percussion was good before, it's a blast in the closing. I'd do a lot to see this back in Rock Band. Sad.
Bummer.
And the video's legend stands on its own. The true magic of this story comes after, when a bunch of random tubers put it to some popular meme songs of the past.
Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like I found you, this new booty. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nut. Swag.
So Neil just put them into one nearly perfect version. I honestly might love the Megamix more because it takes so many twists that make for an unforgettable first listen. So I'll let you keep that for those of you who haven't experienced it. Except this part sucks. Terrible, Neil. Boo! Without the Megamix, we might not have gotten the 3 incredible mashup albums that followed. While Super Hey Ya may have been the test run, bomb-ass song. Check that one out too. The Megamix led him to make 2 incredible mashup albums and one that was a good trial run. We don't have AC/VC without Brody Quest, and for that, I am forever grateful. Neil Cicierega, the truest of American heroes. We salute you, sir. Number 74. MCR's breakup hit most people pretty hard. Bunch of teenagers losing hope over that band, projecting their truest feelings in agonizing, down-to-earth fashion. Sign me up at my nearest Spencer Gifts, polls. I think everybody was sad because the band spoke so well to their sensibilities. I was sad because I think their last album was their best. Well, that's my totally non-controversial opinion. Danger Days is better than Black Parade. This is something most people disagree with me on, and I don't blame them. Plenty of people embrace American Idiot and Black Parade as total tastemakers, and I was too into pop during that time, so whoops. You know, I used to have a copy of All the Right Reasons around here, but, I haven't been able to find it. Must have got drugged back to hell. A work friend would describe this era of MCR as too pop, as though anybody could have made their music to sound like this. Even in high school, I would deny annoying crap like TikTok and listen to this essentially pop-punk love letter to chaos. This album and its opener play as a reversal to Parade, an optimistic ode to destruction. And I'm in firm disagreement. I don't think anybody but Gerard could have pulled this off. He's really selling the narrative of the album, which is as fun as the video looks. They're all just having a good time, doing the normal cutting satire that made this band so different from your Fobs and Brendan Urie's. And melt your face off with just a melodically par git solo. This is just a rock opera fit into one great song. It's an allegory for YOLO. Prolific one-liners like that get enough mileage out of me. Ideas founded from the mind of a revolutionary icon like our boy Gerard. But the song around him is evergreen. The feel-good song for the punk crowd. And for some long-haired band jock, it's the kind of shit I'll never move past. Killjoys, make some noise. Number 73. September 2017, this list gets made. November 2018, the first part comes out. Being that I had yet to even lay out any opinions, I made 2 edits to the list as a whole. One of these edits you won't see until 20 through 11. The other comes right now. That brings us back to 2016. WoW was the original 73. I mean, why not? All the pieces are there. I binged it for weeks when I discovered it. It was my number 1 of a list video. Easy pick for a list like this. Somewhere along the line, my heart followed the real King of Colors. So what do I think is the actual best Beck song? So there was this little song released last year. You may not have heard it. Some random by the name of Niall Horan made a song called Nice to Meet Ya. Happy some people got a kick out of it, because it's basically just a pop-friendly, worse attempt to be up all night. What? Imitation is the best form of flattery, and with a template that good, I like it better than the other 1D standalones from this year.
Watermelon sugar high.
Watermelon Sugar, ah, indeed. Up All Night is a song only Beck's experienced reach could have handled so well. This isn't some attempt at alt-pop, it's demonstrated mastery of it.
Now I'm feeling so far away.
Most of these types of songs usually fall between the cracks for me. The Revitalists, Neon Trees, Foster the People's 3rd album hit. All mildly alright, but lacking in that one thing. Drive, professional, fascination. All things Beck handles better than anybody. And yet, the glue holding this thing together? Just stellar percussion. Drums made of dreams. Comparison point. Niles has the bass functionality of the riff, mainly the snare rhythm, and it works alright, but adding both a more syncopated kick line and utensils on glasses elevates it into one of my favorite percussion lines. I've never thought of a drum part as agile before, but this thing is zooming, which is another kudos to the video. Just as high quality as the song it represents. And just like it, the musical elements are just as complimentary. Wonderful strings. Oodles of tiny extra additions that could only be Becked. Beck.
Looking for a diamond. I'm trying. I'm fighting. Riding in the rhythm now.
Colors Beck is my favorite. There's an unspoken panache to his delivery that lends itself better than other Becks. And maybe that's just because Colors is my favorite. But here in WoW, he's the maestro we've always needed.
1, 2, what you doing? I've been jumping through some hoops.
And now he's not. Those hoops are gone. Invigorating joy about love, crafted into nearly nonsensical yet captivating lyrical prowess. God, it's like he had 12 albums to practice getting it right. Sorry, WoW, Up All Night is Beck's best song. The perfect template to copy, and impossible to be outdone by my dad. Come on, right? It's better than the Child Bieber comparisons. Number 72. I can't say enough good things about Guitar Hero 3. Even with having the crappy Wii version, I'd argue that it may be the best one in the series, only because the covers in 2 made it unplayable and I'm not good enough to play 6. And hell, maybe it's first game bias, but objectivity wins the argument today. Hey, NBA Street was the first addictive game I got for my PS2, and the instant I got its sequel, I was able to identify that it was a much better game. So I'm sorry if you disagree on the Guitar Hero opinion, not so much if you do with the best sports game ever made. Right at the apex of finding music opinions, here was a game with a phenomenal setlist to get me started. Then there it was. Some stupidly fast, reckless, and angry hard rock song sent me into the red immediately. Failed. Jaw on the floor. Now one of my most played songs of all time, it comes up as the defining example of my supernatural power. Introducing Downstrom Ducky. Queens of the Stone Age became my rock. Hard rock, to be exact. Loud, mad, unforgettable. They're one of those bands I will never compare to anybody. Every album was my call to arms, and way less pop than that My Chemical Romance crap. And while I don't think of them as the second best band of all time anymore, they still easily got 3 songs on this top 10.
Holy shit. I wrote top 10, and then I read top 10, and didn't think that there was anything wrong with that. What the hell is wrong with me?
Of course, this top 100 has 3 Queens of the Stone Age songs on it. So we're going to start with the song that nobody really knows on a personal or informational level.
Let me tell you, even putting my own personal tastes aside, this is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard from a technical standpoint.
This is a dark, manic psalm that's a bit of a slow burn compared to the other tracks on Songs for the Deaf, but it's arguably much creepier for it.
Hey!
The verses are simple and plodding, and then you get the eerie backing vocals later in the psalm that lead into a hyperactive chorus. There are drum fills, more frantic bass rhythms, and a shift to more aggressive guitars, and they're enough to make this a kick-ass hook. And then there's Josh Homme's ghostly vocals that feel suffocated and fearful. And honestly, I don't know what the hell the lyrics are supposed to be about, but they're delivered with enough conviction that they hit a sweet spot regardless.
Diane?
Oh, hey Ducky, how's it going?
What are you doing?
Talking about No One Knows? Thanks for the opportunity, by the way.
Yeah. No problem. You let it fly?
Cool. Anyways...
My favorite part of the song is the bridge, which dives into even more insanity. What I admire most about this song is that it somehow manages to have guitar, bass, and drum solos all playing simultaneously. I can't say I've heard anything like this in any other song, and it's incredible that Josh Homme was able to put it all together and blend it together perfectly. It's impressive in concept alone, and it sounds incredible, making this even more impressive to me than a lot of quick guitar solos and metal songs. It's an absolutely fantastic climax to an incredible song.
That was great. Thanks, Diane.
No problem. I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Love the take. Creepy is one way to look at it, but I'm drawn to it because it's a masterclass in some perfectly fused phrases. This would be my fly on the wall song, because there are so many individual complementary musical ideas that mesh too well. Like the gallop riff in the chorus being surrounded by drum fills that challenge how many genius alterations Dave Grohl can come up with. The precision of every phrase. Fucking Josh, his melodies are beautiful. Yeah, a hard rock singer. Packs more imagery and emotion than any other aughts rocker.
We get these pills to swallow.
All climaxing into 3 simultaneous solos ending the world. As Queen's third best song, I give No One Knows a 10 out of 10. Unlike the last 27 songs, which were only 10s. Number 71. John Henry is pretty good. You may remember our discussion of John and John from earlier. That also covered my discussion of my favorite album of theirs. Instead, also known as Drivers, context comes from my absolute favorite drumming rudiment, the 16th note hi-hat riff. Previously, I've used it as a forgiving element, which it can do. It's even been used by sputtering 90s bands to salvage their relevance. The good bands make it work. The great bands innovate. Every verse is just the same snare bass rhythm, and it captivates me to the core. The cross syncopation between them meshes flawlessly. Yeah, now that I think about it, it's absolutely my favorite. This isn't even the last time this basis for drumming comes up in this top 100, but here it is 75% of the reason why this song is so high, and it's my favorite They Might Be Giants song. Bonus points to a fill that is all snare. I just want you guys to understand how big it is to the song. Not enough use drums as a feature for a driving song, let alone any. And for the rudiment itself to be so magnificent, thank you. So maybe that's not enough. Then Driver is my favorite passive-aggressive road rage song. Time to put on my lyrics don't matter pants, because this thing could not be thinner. I could count the number of unique words, and you'll wonder how I could love something so simple. Simplicity. Have you ever been in a car going at a reasonable speed, then you barrel up to some old guy driving 35 in a 55? Passive-aggressive road rage has never sounded so good. It's the perfect, wholesome response I compare to every motherfucker driving 40 miles per hour on my way to work. Hey, NyQuil driver! It's NyQuil driving time. It's all in the way John works between lusterless yet relaxing stretches of free road against frustration and anger of losing that freedom. The verses are fun, the chorus is pissed acceptance, and it's hard to find a feeling captured in so few words. For a song about such a simple emotion, its replayability is what keeps it so high in my opinion. From the great synth and guitar solos to the nearly identical speed strip sounds to close it out. Even the bass line is a spectacular sight to be heard. If you can feel it, aka Driver is a perfect add to that new Discovery Spotify playlist of yours. Give it a try. I highly recommend it. Special thanks to Nick Cage, Tyler, Calvin, Ryan Eister, and Zachary Roy for the wonderful patronage. For just $5 a month, you too could see my August Patreon video, where I talk about... Anyways, thank you for the watch. Should be writing the best songs of last decade next, so watch this. And here's a refresher to what else I will be tackling soon. For now, keep being you, beautiful.